All right, hope you're having a good weekend. This is the watch list for Monday, December 7th. Start with W. I really like this one. You've got a nice volume spike a few days ago and lower highs and higher lows, so it's coiling. So if this can kind of break this little flag or wedge pattern. So I like it long over 42.96 on Monday. Could come up and break out above this 44. This one, when it moves, it really moves. So pretty good setup there. STRP. This is one of those quiet ones a lot of people don't even know about, but it's fallen from 50 all the way down to whatever the lows were here, like 762. Then you had a nice 2-day pop. Secondary attempt at a pop, and now you've got a couple lower highs and just extremely narrow range. Almost didn't trade, right, on Friday. Only 187,000 shares. So, but over Friday's high, over 1230, this one might knock down this Thursday's high and then maybe head back up. It moves nicely when it gets going too, so keep your eyes on that one for some volume coming in. Smith & Wesson, SWHC. This is very close to a breakout. I don't think this is all-time highs. I have to go to the monthly chart here. That didn't work. Let's try that again. Okay, there's the monthly chart, so you can see all the way back in, late, or let's see, this was 2007. I'm pretty sure that was probably that was the all-time high, and that was 2280. But we're consolidating here. Hang on a second. All right, so back to the daily chart now. So it's not near all-time highs, but it's near any recent highs. Smith & Wesson, most of you know, is a gun maker, and with recent events, and this is Sunday at about 12:30, just after noon here in Florida, and Obama's supposed to speak tonight. I don't know if it's going to be mostly about the terror attacks or if it's going to have undertones of gun control. But here, let me show you. When this guy, Bill Maher, is talking about we should have guns, he makes Bernie Sanders look conservative at times. So when this guy is talking about maybe we should arm ourselves, it might be time to look at the gun stocks. So SWHC, pretty close. And so I looked at it today, and this is pretty close to a breakout here on the daily. So the most recent high was September, and that was at 1922. So if we get through 19 with any volume, we might take out that 1922. You could also keep Ruger. That's another gun maker, and it's not as close to its. It's a lower float too, not as close to its recent near highs, or near recent highs, probably a better way to put it. So you can watch that one too, but SWHC actually pretty close to a breakout. And with current events, I think gun sales are probably going to break all kinds of records. Keep that in mind. I was going to go into my own personal story, but let's suffice it to say I own more guns now after this year than I used to. How about that? AFMD. It's actually a pretty handsome chart here because, and you can see it's a lower volume stock, but you had a big volume spike back here, and this was October 15th. And then it's kind of doing a little cup and handle below that. I like the volume here about a week ago, and then it's finding support at the 20-day. So this looks really good, like over Friday's high. I'm going to say 737. This is sort of one of those sleepers, though. It doesn't have enough recent volume to really make me love it, but it might just quietly break out. So I like it over Friday's high, which is 737. Looking to the left, knowing that 774, and I'm writing this down in my notes as I'm talking, 774 is another possible catalyst. Okay, so you got a break of Friday's high, then you look to the left and you have 774 as another possible breakout, and then maybe you retest these 842 highs, and of course one of these days if it gets over that, anything's possible. It had a huge move way back here in July. So I like this chart a lot. I just wish it had more volume, but it could be a sleeper, so keep that one on watch. FOMX had this big volume spike, and then it closed below its open, and then it closed a little bit below its open also on Friday. So this big volume spike was on Thursday, but with a couple days lower now after the gap up, I kind of like it back maybe over this intraday afternoon high around 880. Somewhere around there, it might get going and head back up. I don't love that one, but keep it on watch. I actually really like this one, believe it or not. GIGA. Let's see, I'll get the headline right. They signed an agreement with Lockheed Martin. Software agreement with Lockheed Martin on December 1st, I believe. So, for a stock that has a 5 million share float, and you can see what it did. It gapped up to here and just ripped to 380. Now it's all the way back down to 185. And that's anytime you have a 5 million share float, low price stock like this, trades 30 million shares, and now is a few days lower, and you've got the name Lockheed Martin in some sort of agreement with them. That's a pretty good setup. I really like this. This is one of my favorites. So keep your eyes on GIGA. I love that low float and a deal with a really big name. Okay, that's a good combination. So keep your eyes on that one on Monday and really all week. LIVE. Now I don't want to chase this one. It's just run from $1.40 on Friday all the way to $2.69. Closed at $2.34. Closed right at the 200-day, by the way. But this one, you never know. It might just get a quiet open and then a red to green and then a second wave. And that, again, whenever you get out of the blue 10 million shares on a stock that normally trades 40 or 50,000 a day, you want to keep this on watch for a week or two. All right, it doesn't have to be the next day that you get a move, and oftentimes it's not, but it's a few days later. Okay, so that's LIVE. Got a lot on watch today, by the way. ATV, again, this is a crazy move. Closed above its open on Friday. That's another just potential red to green, something like that. EFUT just goes back on bounce watch again. Low floater that gapped up, and now we're 5 or 6 days in a row down after the gap up. Getting close to the 20-day now. That has potential to make a nice move. CALM. This isn't really a bullish looking chart by any stretch, but it's just fallen 5 days and finding buyers. See these two little tails down here. It's finding buyers. It's also, if you look at the 48 level, yes, in August when everything got killed, this flushed down below it, but right back up. It came down here in July, but right back up. So the 48 level is kind of interesting, and it's finding buyers down here. So that's on long watch for Monday. VLTC, I've had this on bounce watch for a few days. Started the bounce watch on my list when it looked like this. Then you had another day lower, another day lower, another day lower, and now kind of a quiet day, but still lower. I didn't take a trade in any of these days, I don't think. I'm going by memory here, which I'm getting older, so it's not great. But this does go on bounce watch. One of these days, this one might pop. Having these on charts can make you a lot of money. Just being ready, having recent runners, several days down now, can make you some money. So this KMI had it on bounce watch when it looked like this and thought, hey, this one's overdone to the downside. Look what happens. It's down another few bucks. I didn't take a trade in it on Friday, but now look at the volume here, 153 million. This is set up for a snapback bounce. Again, I'm not bullish on this chart, but for a day trader, this is a great chart to watch for a potential snapback bounce. Just for an intraday trade. CLDN, I'll have to zoom in to show you this one. This one, had nice support back here at $1.40 and had this gap up, sold off, came up and actually took out the highs of the gap up day, and now it's down 4 days in a row. And it does have support at $1.40, so that one goes on bounce watch. A couple more. I don't love this one, HART, but it still hasn't triggered as a bounce play since it had this huge pop, and now we're 4 days lower on declining volume, as you can see. And then lastly, DYN also reminds me of that KMI I just showed you. And this one is getting kind of fast to the downside, so it just goes on watch for a snapback bounce day. All right, that's really more than I want to be watching on Monday, but from that list, hopefully we can catch one or two really nice trades. I only take them if they set up properly on an intraday basis. Great teamwork in the room. We've always got people that kind of type in and say, hey, this was on your list, it's setting up, right? So got a bunch of people working together, and I'm pretty confident this list will yield us some nice gains on Monday. All right, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you Monday.